hello and welcome to Paris Paranormal. I'm Terry.
I'm April.
And we're so glad you've joined us today because we have got a wonderful show planned for you tonight. And we've got education about what's going on in Florida and a fun-filled evening with a wonderful guest that I have known for a very long time.
And she's a woman, and she is into Bigfoot.
Yes, and we're excited because, you know, we kind of like that.
I really like it.
Yeah, there aren't very many people who actually are into it that are women that are really out there and doing the, you know, boots on the ground, the hard work. A lot of people are just kind of hanging out and not really getting out there and doing all that hard work. And up here in the LBL, you know, we have a really good time doing that. April just absolutely loves it. And, you know, we've got some shout outs and things we want to do before we get started, but we're going to introduce you to our guest in just a few moments.
So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.
Yes.
All of those things. If there's a love button, hit that one too. I got to say hey to Dean.
Hi, Dean.
Got to say hey to Mimi, my mama, who just had knee replacement, and she's doing fantastic.
We'll do one of those. Let's see
She's
how
she's our #1 fan.
Yeah,
hey,
number
Mimi.
one.
And I got to say hi to all of my friends across the river in Middle Tennessee that are watching.
Ooh, very nice. We're glad you're here with us.
Yes.
And we hope you enjoy the show. This is going to be really great. So we like to bring the true facts out. We don't like to get involved in anything that isn't really solid. That's who we are here at Paris Paranormal. And I've got a friend, I know her. I know that what she's doing is real, and I believe her stories. She's connected with some really amazing folks down there in Florida. And a lot of you might know that Kevin was the founder in Florida of Florida Bigfoot. And we kind of brushed, many times along with her and other things that she was doing there. So that's how we got to know her. And she also came to many of my MUFON meetings down there years ago. And so we would like to welcome Marie Dumont, but I'd like to read a little bit about her bio. She's a native Floridian, and she is the founder of her own thing. It's called MidFlorida Bigfoot Research Group, which focuses primarily on Florida Bigfoot research and the skunk ape. And she is a dedicated and experienced investigator who's been conducting research throughout Florida for over 4 years. She became very interested in this subject after hearing an incredible loud and lengthy Bigfoot vocalization in the Ocala National Forest. And she's also been a lead paranormal investigator for over 30 years. So let's just welcome in Marie Dumont. Hi.
Hi,
Glad
everybody.
to have you here.
Good to see you, Terry and April.
Thank you.
This is great. Yeah, he's in the back. He's running the show. So, you know, I know a lot about you, but she's been wondering, how did you ever really get into all of this?
That's what I want to know. I want to know about your Ocala National Park. Set us up for that.
Ocala National Forest. Okay.
Forest. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that was probably 5 years ago. And so I was out camping one night with a bunch of friends of mine, about 15 people. And it was the coldest night of the year. It was in January sometime. And we're all sitting around the campfire and we're just, you know, talking, blah, blah, blah. It's very cold. And so I got up out of my chair and I went over to the right-hand side. A friend of mine, Leroy, was with me. So we were standing next to each other, and there was another gentleman that was standing with us. And all of a sudden, we heard this loud and lengthy, incredible vocalization that most people call it. It's similar to the classic Ohio Bigfoot call that you ever hear. And it was just unbelievable. We just looked at each other with like deer in the headlights, you know, and we're like, oh my God, what was that? And at that point, that's when I decided that's what I want to do. I want to be the one to prove that they exist in Florida. I want to see one.
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable. It was maybe, I'm not good with distances, maybe like a half mile away from us or something, but it was just one vocalization. That was it. Needless to say, I didn't sleep at all that night.
I was fixing to say, were you able to sleep?
Not really because of that, the Bigfoot thing. It was just cold, but I know deep down that I was,
Yeah.
oh God, every
So
little noise.
Could you feel it?
No.
Because a lot of people say, literally you can feel it all through your body, the vibration.
And maybe because it was far enough away that I didn't get that feeling. If I was much closer, probably. But it was incredible. That's what did it for me.
Did you sleep in the car, Marie? Or
my friend Leroy did. He slept in his car. I didn't.
You didn't? Oh my gosh.
No,
I know I would have. I know I would have.
Now, who is Leroy?
Yep, Leroy.
Oh, I remember Leroy.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Leroy.
My gosh,
Leroy
I sure do.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. And he stayed in the car. Shame on you, Leroy, if you're watching.
I'm like, chicken.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
He claimed he was cold, but I'm real raisin.
You can't talk about cold, okay? We're in Tennessee. We're going down to 0 next week, okay?
I know.
So no rubbing it in, okay? Because I'm dying up here. It's freezing. But anyway, that is an amazing story. So he called your name. That one call, he was calling you, and it spoke to your heart, and now
you're spoke to my heart, and that was it. And I've seen some strange arrangements out there, stick formations. Coolest one thing that happened, which was really weird, was COVID 2020, right? They closed down the forest here in March.
Oh,
and so they opened it back up like around end of May, beginning of June sometime. So I went with Ken and Leroy. We all jumped in the car. I got laid off of work because of COVID.
Oh,
so we were just like, hey, man, they opened up the forest. Let's go. So we jumped in the car. We went to Ocala. And there's one particular trail that I like to walk on. And we did all that. We drove around. Didn't see anything, too crazy. But we did see a black bear walking down the middle of the road.
Wow.
Because obviously they're not used to humans being around.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go back a week later. Same path. Week later, we pull into the trailhead. We start walking, and there are 5 freshly broken trees across the path, one after the other. They're just laid out, one after the other. And then there was a little sapling over on the side that was bent over and tucked underneath one of those trees.
Oh, wow.
And in front of all that, over on the left-hand side, was an X structure. So you've got an X, 5 trees that have been broken and laid across the path that we walked on last week, the week before. And then that little tree, bent all the way over the path and pinned down underneath one of the trees.
Is that one of these pictures?
No.
Okay. It's different. Okay.
No, I didn't send you any pictures on that, but I could have. But we'd be here all night with all my pictures.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, we've gone out so many times and taken so many pictures. It's unbelievable.
So
that's really weird that happened a week later.
It was.
We got the distinct impression that they didn't want us out there. They didn't want humans out there. They were back out in the forest. And so something just broke trees, like pine trees, and just laid them across the path, one right after the other.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know that you've been a paranormal investigator for a long time, and I know that you know how to investigate. But did you try to debunk it at all? Did you try to see
there was no
way?
There
No
was
way.
no, like, places like the trunks, parts of trunks that where something was broken.
Did you see claw marks or any hair on the wood
Nope.
or anything like that?
Nope.
Oh wow! So you
Nothing.
just felt it was deliberate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because in that area, the reason why I walk down that path is because I have seen other things, strange things. Like one time I found this gigantic structure that to me reminds me of a wall because it had two big trees that were broke off at the exact same height, but they were probably 8 feet away from each other. There was nothing that would have knocked and broken both of those trees down.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of X's underneath it, and these giant arches going across the top of it.
Yeah.
It looked like a freaking wall. But on the ground, there's a bunch of loose other dead trees, like building materials, right? Mm-hmm. Like it drug a bunch of stuff there and is assembling something.
Like bedding or something.
Yeah, so it's just really very weird.
So
But
this picture,
Utah.
so I'm assuming this is what you would call a TP structure. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yes.
There it is. Yeah. Now look at
Yeah.
that.
Now,
Yeah.
how cool is that?
That is amazing.
Now, if you look at the bottom of that teepee structure, you can see roots. So one of those trees that makes up
yes.
that teepee
Right here.
still had the roots to it. And another one of those branches, it's not a branch, it's an actual, like a small tree that's probably about 15 feet long. You can't see it through the pine needles there. The other trees. But that was an amazing find.
Yeah.
That is an amazing find.
Yes, that would be so cool to find. And
Was
you
there-
know that a deer's not doing that.
No.
No.
And a bear isn't going to do that.
No.
But did you find any scat? Was there anything anywhere near? Isn't that weird? I'm still not sure. I don't know if he's interdimensional. Like
Maybe they dig a hole.
they could be like a cat. I mean, we don't know. We don't know everything.
They're
out there.
smart. They're not leaving their stuff behind for us to find.
They certainly haven't. So far.
They're being very respectful if they're digging a hole. Just saying.
Right. Yeah. Could be. Could be.
So I have to ask, what is this picture?
Okay. That is from our active research area. And that is one of 3 bent galvanized steel posts that had barbed wire on it that have been twisted and bent, folded in half. This is by our gifting area.
That takes a lot of strength.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And you can tell it's been bent.
Yeah, you
Right.
can see the top. It's bent,
Yes.
and then it's been twisted and bent in half. And that's exactly, you can see the barbed wire.
Yeah.
It's kind of like something wanted to move the barbed wire out of the way.
Yeah.
So they just bent it down
Wow.
out of the way.
Right.
Wow.
And there was no trees or anything that knocked down, did that.
Yeah,
That
you would
bent
see
down.
that on the steel, that there would have been some kind of a bump or an indent or something like that.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them that look almost identical.
Were there any scratches or anything on there?
No, but the fence has been pushed down, and now there's a big game trail.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow.
They got a food supply coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
is this this active site that you're going to, is it the same location as where you heard the vocalizations?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That was a different area. Okay.
And then you sent us a picture with some bones.
Okay, the bones. That was the green swamp.
Oh yeah, I love the Green Swamp. That was the best place. So much there.
Now this one's really interesting. In the picture, it doesn't look like it, but I'll just tell you the story. So I was out with my team. We're walking in the swamp, and we come across a deer carcass. And so we're like oohing and eyeing over the deer carcass, just looking at it. It was right at the edge of the water in a swamp, right? And so Ruby says, "Hey, there's something over here. Take a look at this." And about 5 feet away from the carcass were those 3 bones. Those 3 bones are shoved in the ground. They're standing straight up and down.
Oh my goodness.
They're not laying down. The picture looks like it's laying down, but they're not laying down. They're sticking straight up out of the ground.
Wow.
Kind of like, yeah, I always, it reminds me of like when you go to eat chicken wings somewhere and you eat the meat off the bone and then you put the bowl and you stick the bones in a bowl, right?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of, like something just like
ate them and
shoved it in the ground.
Wow.
That is pretty weird.
So that picture is Ruby pulling it. She's got her fingers on it, and she actually pulled it out of the ground.
I can see the dirt on the middle one.
You can see at the bottom there of that one that she's got her hand on.
Yeah, so that was 5 feet away from the deer carcass.
It's
not normal. It's not normal.
No.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But you mentioned that this is like some place where they were eating and they were taking advantage of something there. When we saw the one we saw in the Green Swamp, it was coming out at the very same time that these cows were coming to a sinkhole. And unbeknownst to me or Kevin, we had no clue, But there had been a sighting just a few weeks before on Moore Road in Lakeland, where we lived. And there had been a few different sightings through 2 years that we were near there. And we never had seen anything. But this one night when we went out to that sinkhole where the cows were drinking because it had filled up with water, that's when we saw what we saw. Well, I saw it really even more than Kevin did, but it took 2 deliberate steps back. This thing was massive. And it wasn't what you would call the swamp ape. This thing was all black, and it was massive. It looked like it maybe 10 to 12 feet high, according to the trees for where we were looking at it, and massive. This was nothing you wanted to mess with. And I grabbed the dog and ran in the house for fear. I'm a seasoned investigator, but I'm not stupid. And so I was like, well, that's very close. And even though it went back into the bush, I'm thinking that thing was coming to that area to have a cow, to get at the cows, And so I totally get that it would do something like this and then just eat the bones and throw the bones,
Yeah, shove them in the ground. And what the heck? Just whoop, pop them in the ground.
Right.
With chicken wings.
Right, that's amazing. Well, you've got another one there.
Yeah, I have this other picture, and I feel like this is like you're doing some kind of gifting.
That's our gifting spot.
Okay,
so that's by the fence, okay? And those are lima beans on the ground, okay?
Oh!
And we were doing a little experiment with lima beans because that's something that David Shealy down in the Everglades does.
Yeah.
Because, he believes that they like lima beans. So he came up one weekend to go researching with us, which is what he does whenever he can, because he's a member of our team. And so Mike, the guy on the right in that picture there, Mike Aguilar with the cowboy hat, he the day before we went out with David, we took David there. Mike put out some lima beans and some. He puts out like Reese's peanut butter cups or whatever, just for the heck of it. And we just wanted to see what would happen the next day. So there we go, right there, smack dab. Next day is this little tiny X structure, and they're about 12 inches long.
Wow.
Good
And they're
heavens.
shoved in the ground right where we do our gifting.
Good heavens.
Did they leave the rocks also?
No, those are lima beans.
Those are,
Oh
No, there's rocks further.
yeah,
Further.
I left those.
Oh, okay.
I left some rocks out because I wanted to see if they would do anything with the rocks. They did not, but
Really?
they put the X. They made that little X and shoved it in the ground right there.
what
you
other
have?
things do you gift with?
Whenever we can. A lot of people don't like gifting. We don't go too crazy with it. But the biggest thing is Reese's peanut butter cups. And
I've
like
heard-
if Ruby makes cookies or
Yeah.
muffins or something, has leftover candy or something, she'll bring it and we'll just scatter it around. And but Reese's peanut butter cups for us we've been very successful with.
Yeah. I have heard people that leave marbles.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, Ruby does that too. She
And
usually
there's some
brings little
amazing
trinkets,
stories.
little crystals, little blue marbles,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But they've never messed with that.
Right.
We did put out a teddy bear.
Oh.
Oh. What happened
And-
with that?
Oh yeah, what happened with that teddy bear was it was probably maybe 2-3 weeks after we put out a teddy bear at the gifting site. Something, of course, knocked it down because there was a branch. There was a big branch that was right there that where we always put our stuff, right? And the teddy bear fell over. That's fine. That's normal, right? But something ripped off the tag off the stuffed animal and then proceeded to rip the tag in half.
Really?
That had
My
to be
goodness.
somebody with strength.
Do you know how hard it is to
Yes.
rip off a tag?
do.
from
I
a
actually-
stuffed
I do.
animal?
Yeah. Yes, and just to rip it in half,
Yeah.
there's no way we could do it.
No, you'd need. Did you have it tested for prints at all or
No.
anything? No DNA?
No, I mean, you can. It's little, it's
Yeah.
nothing.
I know.
We don't have,
I
we don't have
know.
the money for that, but it was incredible. Like, what the heck?
Did you
Rip
save
the
it?
tag. We lost it.
Oh no.
Oh.
We can't find it. Yeah,
Oh,
we've
no.
tried. It was only this big, you know.
Right.
Yeah, they're not that
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
And so the wind just,
Oh,
blew it away
shoot.
or whatever. But it was, I have a picture of it, which I did not send you, but I do have a picture.
Oh, it's okay. Well, do you use trail cams out there? I know Kevin and I used to use a ton of trail cams and put them out, and then we'd have to go out regardless of the rain or whatever was happening.
Oh, yeah.
You would
I
have to
know.
go back and get them,
We have tried. I have tried putting trail cams in around our gifting area, but all activity stopped
Yeah.
when we did that. Of course.
And that is exactly what we found.
I think that they can pick up on the EMF.
I don't know, yeah, but we would put them up pretty high and hide them, drape things over them and everything.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And we'd pick up all kinds of deer and spiders and everything
Yeah.
else. But
Woodpeckers love
yeah,
to attack them.
everything.
They try to get in them for some reason. I don't know if
Raccoons.
it's the light that bothers them. I
Right.
don't know. But woodpeckers will
And
try
a
and destroy
ton
them.
of boars and even bobcats, but we would never ever get a Bigfoot. And
So,
it's just kind of
yeah.
crazy, but I do love
So
the
we
trail
moved them.
cam. Yeah.
We moved the trail cams.
Yeah.
And I put them along where there's a path because I then wanted to see who was walking around there. Are there any
who's there?
humans
Yeah.
walking into our area?
Right.
And I have a camera out there right now. It needs to be checked. But in a 4-month period, there were 2 sets of humans
Okay.
were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
One was a mother with her little daughter, and a dog. But the second humans that were out there were 2 sheriff officers with a canine dog
Wow. With
coming out of
canines.
our active area.
Very interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, unless they were looking for a deceased body, maybe something else had happened somewhere else.
Yeah, but see, this is the area is so very close to a it's a residential area.
Yes, I know, and
It's
that's
very
what's
close to that.
that's
And
what is so
people are like,
interesting.
oh,
Yeah.
well, maybe they were looking for missing persons. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they're looking for drugs. I doubt it.
Well, why would there only be 2 and 1 dog? I mean, if
2?
they're doing that kind of search, there's lots of people on the ground.
Well, remember at the LBL when they blocked off, they literally blocked off the highway going into this one area of the LBL, which was in Kentucky, remember? Did you remember that story? Was it Dewey that shared that with us or Elijah? But they literally had so much activity when the dog man.
That's when that family was
literally
killed. They shut
blocked
everything
down. And so you wonder, what were they looking for? What had happened that they know about that we don't usually ever hear about that stuff? If something like that happens, the only way we're going to hear about it if there's a leak, because they wouldn't want us to know. They wouldn't want the public paranoid or whatever. But they'll shut the place down though, so that you can't get in. That happened here, and they never did find out what happened.
My guess is the neighbors probably called the sheriffs because they probably heard
that could be
something out there.
That could have heard something
out there, yelling, screaming.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that is because of the reaction of the second sheriff officer.
Oh,
well, there was
really?
the first one. And he stood right in front of my camera. He didn't see it.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. He never made eye contact with you.
He never saw it. Perfectly camouflaged, right?
Oh, that's
so
pretty
then
good.
He's like looking over his shoulder.
Oh,
he's doing all this. So someone looking for drugs or someone looking for
no
missing body.
It didn't fit.
Why would you be looking over your shoulder? Okay?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
He may have been hearing something himself.
They could have been. Yeah.
So 2 sheriff officers with a canine.
Yeah.
What else have you got there that you want to talk about?
Oh, there's this structure also that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Coal Creek State Park.
Okay. Where is that?
Right next to the Green Swamp.
What's the closest city to that area?
Well, you know where McNeil is? In the Green Swamp, the McNeil track?
Oh, yes, I do know. Yes,
That's up to Hampton.
Yes.
Hampton track,
Kevin, George, and Tim Fasano used to go there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was a creek in this one spot. We're looking around, and I found that.
Wow.
And
that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sticks were 4 to 6 feet long, and they were balanced.
Balanced.
Of a little stump.
What do you make of that? What do you make of balanced?
I mean, that just takes major intelligence.
I mean, they don't fall off the tree
like
and
that.
land on a cypress knee, and they're perfectly balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not normal in nature.
No.
Okay?
No. Absolutely, it is.
We can debunk that just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably found about 5 or 6 of those.
And I'm wondering, though, what would they use that for?
I think they just get creative.
Maybe they just like making them.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe it's a youngster. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I found at least 5 or 6 of those in other areas in the Green Swamp, in Hillsboro, and all those areas are connected together.
And
So,
the juveniles, I mean, they're young, and I think that,
could be
they
playing.
play games or they may just, doing stuff. I mean, like our kids would do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
just like to make those kind of things.
It's like
And
Vacation Bible School.
maybe it is some kind of marker, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
probably the same individual making those.
Yeah, same type
Probably.
or age group or something like that.
And then we have these.
Yeah, where'd you get those?
In our active research area.
Wow,
Wow.
look at the
So
size of those.
almost 16 inches long.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. What I saw was massive.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It would take feet that big for what I saw just to be able to, balance itself.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We've done a lot of looking into the giants, of old that came through the biblical era of the Nephilim.
Right.
And there were very hairy giants. And I'm wondering if actually, I don't know what your take on this is, but, let me know. I'm wondering if Bigfoot isn't a hybridization of a giant, which was a half human, half angelic being to begin with, which is pretty crazy, hard to wrap your mind around, yet we know it's a fact. And because we know about David and Goliath, and we know about all the giants that we even have today, and a lot of them, and even humans, have conditions where they're covered with hair. And we've seen this in circuses. Unfortunately, they've made fun of those things. But right. I'm thinking he's some form of a hybrid. And
Which could be.
Yeah, and I'm just blown away at how big they are, how strong they are, and how present they are in every state, every country, everywhere on the planet. It isn't just in one area, and each area of the globe calls it a bit of a different name, but it's basically an identical creature. Some are a little bit different. In the green swamp, you have that skunk ape, which has a different color. Your skunk apes are the orange and the browns. What I saw was pure black. Pure black. There was no other color on that one. And that shocked me because I always thought skunk apes, we were looking for skunk apes. And people said they stunk really bad, which is why they're called skunk apes.
But that's the same smell that they give off everywhere.
Well, that one we never did catch any odor from that, I'm aware of. And Kevin stayed out there. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, Kevin, get in the house, get in the house. But, it's just interesting. So you don't know how you feel about that, if they're interdimensional, if they're hybrids.
We can only speculate. We don't know.
I just think they're flesh and blood. I think they've always been here.
Oh, yeah.
They have been always
They've been here. I mean, like, the
Yes.
Native Americans have known about them and talked about them for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're just the internet brought everything
Together.
forward.
Yeah.
And we're
Now
just
we
going to
see it.
continue to learn about more and more and more and more.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
The majority of the sightings around, like, the Green Swamp or even Hillsborough, they're usually a cinnamon red color, or they're black, are the
Right.
two colors that I hear about. Now, I just
Okay.
recently learned from a Florida park ranger that I met and we've friended. There's been a whitish color Bigfoot that's been seen around Hillsborough State Park.
Really? Those
Yeah.
are normally called the Yetis. Yeah, Kevin has heard about that.
And when they say white, it could be
Albino?
It could be whitish,
Yeah.
grayish, old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're not pure white.
Okay.
But
Not-
they see it and they just see this light color and they just say it's white. It could be blondish. It could be grayish. We don't know, but I've heard of 3 reports.
Well,
of
you
the
can't.
white.
I mean, you have to wonder as they age if their hair,
Oh,
like
right.
ours does,
That's a good call. Good
I'm
thinking.
sure it does.
if it doesn't
Possible.
turn gray
Right.
with
Right.
time.
Maybe maybe that is actually accurate. Yeah.
And bless their hearts, they can't go to the salon.
Like I can. And do. So in the beginning, I had asked you, what got you into all of this, like your paranormal experiences? And I want you to share some of those with us too.
Yeah.
What got you interested in this whole phenomenon?
This whole phenomena, yeah.
Deep subject.
I've been a paranormal investigator for over 30 years, and it started out with ghosts. And I heard about this ghost hunting group called the Tampa Ghost Watchers. And I was like, oh my God, there's something like this in Tampa, So I joined the group and became a lead investigator for the Tampa Ghost Watchers. And somebody reported a haunting at their house. And so I got picked to be the lead investigator, and I got to pick my team that I wanted. So we went out to Debbie's house, Kevin, that you've been to, right?
Ah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin did some filming there, I think. And so her house was like going to Disney World. It was the most incredibly active place I've ever seen in my life. It was so much fun. It was just a blast because every time it'd be like, come on over. I'm like, yay, I get to go to Disney World and and see what's going to happen, See, I mean, every possible thing happened at our house.
Yeah.
Everything.
And what was causing it?
It was, there used to be gangsters that lived there.
Al Capone, yeah.
Al Capone used to go to that house every winter.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, because Al Capone had a house in Odessa, Florida in the wintertime. So he would come down, and then he would go to her house, that house, and they would bootleg whiskey, they would play cards and stuff, and they bar. It's the original condition.
Oh, wow.
The house has still got everything the way it was, like the flooring, the walls, and everything.
Oh, how nice.
So, so they used to play cards, poker or whatever. And if you were not able to pay your debt, they shot you in the head and they threw you in the lake behind the house. That's why the house
is so haunted.
It had so much trauma. Yeah.
So much trauma, so much mafia stuff.
All of that negative energy.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was so much fun.
Does anybody live in it now?
They sold the house to somebody else. I know when they moved out, somebody else moved in who writes horror movies.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
So it was the perfect place for them to live.
Yeah, great inspiration there.
Because, hey, all you have to do is, hang around the house and something's going to happen to you.
Yeah, sooner or later.
So
that's
when
why
you
we bought our
investigated
mansion.
that house, what was the scariest thing that happened to you?
Scariest thing? Oh, I probably, when I get touched, I just kind of like, ugh, but I enjoy all of it. Nothing scares me.
So what was the freakiest?
Freakiest thing? Oh God, there's so many. One of the really cool things was Debbie and I were in her kitchen. Next to her kitchen was a open room where they kept all the toys for the kids. And so her and I are talking, standing in the kitchen, 1:30 in the morning. We're talking. All of a sudden, the toys started going off, one by one.
Oh, wow. That's
and
freaky.
they're the kind of toys that you have to touch in order for it to turn on, make noise, flashlights, blah, blah, blah. One right after the other. There was at least 12 toys that were playing all at once.
And what is it? I don't know what it is, but what is it that is so creepy about a toy coming to life?
Coming alive by itself? That's creepy.
I mean, it's just so creepy.
Toys are great. When they come on by themselves,
I
not so
know,
great.
it's just so creepy.
Something's doing
Yes.
it. Well, you know something is doing it, but you can't see it, and you don't know. You can
And
feel
it's a
it.
toy,
You know,
for
but-
God's sake.
Right.
Yeah.
So we just looked at each other. We're just like, oh my God, this is so cool. So that was one of the fun things that happened at our house. So,
That's nice.
but I had a picture. I got a picture of an apparition there.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah, and actually, Ghost Adventures was going to go investigate her house. I was going to be the person that they interviewed, and but her sister was dying, and so the whole thing got canceled.
Yeah.
Well,
that
they would have probably really provoked something. Because they like to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh, I so wanted to be on Ghost Adventures.
Oh, that would have been so
With
much
Zach
fun.
Bagans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's way out there. But have you been back to the Brooksville Manor, or have you been up to see Mary's place?
I've been to, I think it's probably been a couple of years since I went to Brooksville. The last time I went there, it was after they had some kind of festival, like a open house, ghost, you could take a tour of the house, basically. And then there's all kinds of vendors and stuff outside the house. It was so hot. It was like in September.
Oh.
And so after that festival, they were doing a ghost hunt. You had to pay for it, and you could stay and do that.
Yeah.
So we go in the house, and the place was like electrified or something.
Oh, wow.
You could just feel the crazy, heavy, intense energy, and we're all like, what the heck?
I love cleansing those kinds of houses.
Oh my God, it was just crazy. And it's probably from having all those people coming in and out all day long, it just like increased the energy.
Wild
there.
energies. Yeah.
And we all felt it.
I can't stand that feeling.
Ah,
That's why
I had a
cleanse it.
friend at her house was that way. And when she was getting ready to move out, it electrified everything that she had put to rest.
Oh, she didn't.
And I'm telling you, it shot my blood pressure through the roof. It was like electrical currents were going through my body.
Oh, wow.
I've not shared this story with a lot of people, but it was, from that day forward, I would not go in the living room of our house.
Ooh.
wow.
I mean, I'd say, you're going to meet me on the front porch, sister. I'm not going in.
You got to
I couldn't take
You got to
it.
overcome that.
Because, I mean, I felt like it got in my car and went home with me.
Oh, dear.
But when your blood pressure is like 180 over 160 or something, I mean, good Lord.
You're flying.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. Well, I know that I really do enjoy cleansing, and that's kind of my thing. A lot of people like you, I know, Marie, you love playing with them and you love talking to them and interacting with them. I come in the room and I'm like, okay, you're all leaving now, and I like to get rid of them in the name of Jesus. You know how I am. And I've never really struggled with that. I've never really liked entertaining them. It always amazed me there's different kinds of investigators. You're one of the ones that love talking to them and getting them involved and moving and acting. And I'm always the one going in and going, okay, are you guys done playing? I'm ready to get rid of these guys for good. And a lot of people, like even Kevin goes, don't get rid of them until I take pictures.
Take pictures.
He's like,
That would be
Terry,
me.
don't you dare cast that out. Don't cast it out until I get a picture.
That could be a friendly spirit.
And I tell,
Until I film it.
I know, that's what he says.
Yeah,
and,
they can
and I
be
tell him, I said,
friendly.
you've got 5 minutes, Kevin. I'm not putting up with this. Kevin, can you put yourself up? And there you go. It's true. He yells at me all the time. He calls
I'm
me,
with you, Kevin. They could be friendly. Get the picture, the video, something.
I personally believe that they're not as friendly as they let on to believe, that they could really do some freakish things. Mostly possessions and demonic possessions, even depending on what we allow them to do. So that's why I always get rid of them. And people like you find them and lead me to them, and then I get rid of them.
my first paranormal thing was when my mother died.
Ooh.
So she came back to me.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So that's what got me really started in with the paranormal.
What year was that?
Oh God. Let me think a second. I was 25. So
you were 25?
So did she?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So did she appear to you after she passed?
After she passed.
So
what'd she
tell
look
us
like?
about it?
Yeah, what'd she look like? Did she look just exactly as you remembered her in your mind? Or was she different?
No, I didn't see her.
Oh.
I didn't see her. It was nighttime. She's the love of my life. Dad was always not the nicest guy, so my brother and I wouldn't have anything to do with him. So mom was everything, right? And so I was having a nervous breakdown. I could not stop crying. I was just like, I was falling apart. And about a month and a half, 2 months after she passed, I was still losing it. And one night, I'm laying this way, sleeping, and I felt something woke me up. It sat on the bed. And this is what my mom used to do.
Oh.
She would sit on the edge of my bed, and she tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, everything will be okay." And I was just like frozen. I didn't even, it was pitch black. I wouldn't be able to see anything anyway, but it was just frozen. And I was like, oh my God. And I was fine right after that. That's what I needed.
It is, and I do believe God
Wow.
allows that. He allows that, especially you were at such a sweet, tender age. 25, that's really young. It's a terrible time to lose a parent.
Yeah.
And it's, you needed that reassurance that everything was going to be okay.
Yes.
And I would never begrudge somebody for that. That isn't the kind of thing I would say is scary or spooky. It's actually endearing, loving, and supportive,
Right.
Just like she was for you. She was
And that
your
helped
wonderful
you heal.
mother. Yeah.
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 I
So
hear.
that was my first paranormal experience, and
Yes.
that's what really, really, really got me into
Wow.
Yes.
paranormal.
So then you knew this can happen. Yeah, I tell
Yeah.
people that all the time. They go, "Oh, I don't believe in ghosts." Well, I'm sorry. These things can and often do happen, And I've had many accounts of people passing that I didn't even know they'd passed. But they brought that news to me that they were no longer here.
Absolutely.
And that is shocking to me.
Yeah.
I mean, just really shocking how they can do that. And I've had it happen many times.
Right.
So I'm happy to hear that you had that nice experience with her. And
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
sweet experience.
It is.
So that was what got me into it.
Yes. Now, have you ever gone up to the Seven Sisters? Is that still functioning?
I've never been there.
You hadn't been there. Okay. I thought we had seen you there, but maybe I guess we didn't. No, okay. Yeah, well, no, if you hadn't been there, we didn't see you there.
I wanted to go there.
Yeah, maybe we talked about it or something, and I thought you were going to go because we went and many times, and they had many big events, and then they would go into all the different houses, and that place had some very strong spirits. And Kevin and I went, and I had to cast one out of the house, and Johnny Zappas was there, and he didn't want anything cast out. But this one was really malevolent, and there was no way I was going to leave that place, leaving that there. And Kevin and I then left, right shortly after that, because there were quite a few spirits there that were highly unkosher. And I just wanted to get out. I'm like, if I can't deliver them, I'm not staying. It was just too crazy. But so Are you still doing some of that? Are you still involved in the paranormal aspect with that Tampa group or another group?
Well, the Tampa group, the leader of the group died.
Oh,
So
I'm
the
sorry.
whole thing disbanded. So I, I mean, I still do all that. I'll still ghost hunt. I'll still sky watch and everything. Whenever I have the opportunity. If someone says, "Hey, we're going to go do a, ghost hunt at Casadega or something," I'm
Oh,
all in.
wow. Yeah.
I'm all in. So
Casadega, now that's a deep, deep, deep subject.
yeah, yeah, that's a fun place too.
I bet.
But nowadays it's so hard to find a place to go investigate. Because now all the places typically want to charge you money.
I know.
Or they don't want you there at all because of all the TV shows or whatever. I don't know, but it's just much, much harder to find a place to go unless you have a homeowner who's having a problem that you can go help them with. But as far as places to go, you've got the Brooksville Museum, like you said,
Right.
maybe the Du Bois,
Yes.
University of Tampa.
Right.
There's some few places left. Places in Ybor, like the
Yes.
Cuban Club or something. There's still very few places to go to anymore. It's getting hard.
Yes.
Everybody wants money.
Yes, it's unfortunately the bed and breakfasts that are like tucked away out, in the smaller little towns. I would go there, and if I were you, and there always a place there that's going to have something going. Cemeteries are interesting.
But the thing is, most cemeteries you have to be out before sunset.
Yeah, that's right. They've changed
they
all
lock
the
'em.
rules. Yeah, when I was little, you could spend the night there.
Yeah, they used to never have gates or whatever, and
You
now
just need to
it's
come to
nope,
Tennessee.
the gates close at sunset, and that's it. So, not that we haven't snuck into some cemeteries.
Oh
before.
yeah, I'm not telling.
There's like 300 cemeteries in LBL.
What?
Yes, it's the most incredible. I'm telling
That's
you,
insane.
you have got to get in your
I
car
have
and take a
never
trip
heard of
up here.
that.
You will not believe.
Land between the lakes.
It's unbelievable here.
There's
Yeah, I've wanted to go
Chinese.
there.
There's Chinese immigrants. There's Native Americans.
Yeah.
There's people buried in there from every war.
It's really beautiful.
Family cemeteries. It's insane. I've got a map with all the cemeteries, and I've highlighted them, and I think I've got about 280.
That is insane.
And they flooded it. And,
Yeah.
so some of the towns are literally underwater. And when the tides go out, you can see portions of those
You can
old
find the old
towers
home
and stuff.
places and the old.
It's amazing. You'll have to come up and spend a weekend or a week and
You really need a
hang
week
out.
because it's a lot. It's a lot to cover.
It is
Because
a
I was
lot.
there 2 weeks ago, and I mean, just
it takes days to
yeah,
even-
just going to places that we went. Driving in, getting out, walking, getting some pictures, and then But there's
Yeah.
people in there every week researching, videoing, streaming, because it's so active.
That's on my bucket list. Definitely.
It's so active. It's insane.
Well, let us know. We've got a room for you in our mansion.
Good.
Yeah, I've already told Mr.
you know.
Dewey Edwards.
Everybody tells me it's haunted. We
Yeah.
keep getting rid of things.
Have you
Your house?
heard of Dogman?
Huh?
Have you had any encounters with Dogman?
No. No, the only thing in the Green Swamp, I found a very large canine print that was 4 inches long, which
Because-
is pretty big for
4-inch long print of a dog.
Because there is Dogman activity in Florida. Because I think Steve Carpenter, who just passed away, has got some pretty good evidence on his YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I'm sure people have claimed that, but I have not.
I mean,
Like I said, only that canine print's the only thing that I have found. And back years ago, I guess there used to be wolves in the Green Swamp.
Yes.
I think there were black wolves or something like that.
Yes.
We have wolves in LBL too.
So it could very well be there's still a handful of wolves out there that
Oh,
yeah.
we
absolutely.
don't know about. You
Yeah.
know, because where I found this one print was in the bushes.
Yeah. Oh.
We're in this little there's a little section that had sand like water, like it used to be a stream, like when it
Yeah.
rains, the water
Yeah.
runs that way, so it's smooth. You could see the ripples in the sand, and then there was this giant, big canine print, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Nobody's walking their dog in the bushes.
No, and plus a dog man, the way they walk on their front. Their heel doesn't come down
Oh, okay,
when they stand up and walk.
okay.
So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You might find you another cryptid to start researching.
Something new.
We have to get you up here.
Other
Marie.
than, yeah.
For sure.
We got to get you up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've got to come to Tennessee.
We'll have some fun.
Kevin says it's
Yeah.
okay.
And then, of course, there's Mothman. There's so much going on, and so many things have been seen. And even, we had talked earlier before we came on the show about UFOs, and we've seen them here and have experienced them here. And so many really amazing places in Tennessee. Tennessee is like a little hidden gem. It's got so many places to explore, just unbelievable.
Yes, it's beautiful there. I've gone to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference in Gatlinburg.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I love the drive, from the airport, just driving through the Smoky Mountains. And
It's beautiful.
it's breathtaking. It's
Yeah.
just
It
really
is.
beautiful.
It is. We're hoping we can get out a little more. We're so busy with so many different shows, but we're hoping that we can. So tell us, and people that are watching tonight, if they want to get in touch with you, you have a couple different, I need my eyes on here.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. It's on
You
the
can
screen.
go to MidFloridaBigfoot.com.
Uh-huh. And you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube,
And
you're on
Instagram.
Instagram. And I tell our viewers, if they want to reach out to you and ask you any questions, just take a picture of that on the screen,
Yep.
All right, let's talk about that picture right there.
Sure, go ahead.
That pink. Would you see the
I was
picture
going to
of the
ask
pink?
you about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was again in our gifting area. That is a chicken egg.
Well, I was going to say, is that an egg?
Chicken egg. Okay.
That's a chicken egg
Okay.
that's been opened, like at the bottom, and propped up on top of that 2-foot tall cypress knee.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she has that right here.
I told you I printed all of it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought that was an egg.
It does look like an egg. Yeah, she printed this
Oh,
one.
there it is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a chicken egg. And about 100 yards from our gifting is a chicken coop.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So, all right, let's just, people are like, a raccoon could have done that. I find it hard to believe that a raccoon would take an egg out of the chicken coop, walk 100 yards
Yeah.
Exactly.
gifting spot to eat it, and then prop it up on top of a 2-foot tall cypress knee
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't do that.
No.
in our gifting area.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
It
isn't
left
that
you an
odd?
egg. That is so cool.
It's interesting. It's like when you feed a cat good treats. They go kill something and bring it up to you and lay it on your door, your doorstep for you.
It just makes no sense that it
Yeah.
would carry it all the way
Yes.
over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
To gift you,
That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And it would just eat it, put it on the ground. Why would it stand up and perch it on top of this
Right.
2-foot tall cypress knee?
Well, and isn't that an interesting concept that possibly that is the truth, that they do something like that? It is like a reward of sorts that they're giving you, like a cat does, or, like a dog will bring you a toy or something like that, because they are still animalistic, they're a wild beast. God only knows what, that.
I just think they have an incredible sense of humor, too.
Well, that could be too. Yeah, isn't it interesting?
It's like, let's balance this eggshell on this
let's see what this does.
tree stump. And let's sit back and watch the reaction.
Egg, and let me just perch it on top.
Yeah, and they don't have to have trail cams. They
I
just
keep
hide
losing
and
my
watch.
hearing.
And just get your reaction.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So I think 2024 is going to be a great year for all of us Bigfoot hunters, and we're going to be out there. And
I love Bigfoot.
looking forward to it, setting out some trail cams and getting some things. Yeah, we're going to try to catch something out there, So thank you so much for coming on. We're at the top of our hour. And
you let us know when you want to come to Tennessee.
Time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
You can stay with Kevin and Terry.
Yeah.
They have a huge house.
Yeah, and it's haunted. You'd love it.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously, we had somebody stay with us, and they said an orb came right straight
Nice.
into the window and sat right in front of them. And the next month, we had someone else stay, and they said a white orb, identical. Now, these people don't even know each other, said, "Oh my gosh, this orb came in right out of the fireplace and went right on the floor and out the door." And I went, "You're kidding. You're the second person in a month that has told us that an orb came into the room." Yeah.
Well, I see that little shadow go by.
I know.
The little dog, I'll be like...
People see that too. I keep throwing it out, it keeps coming back.
It's just, I just see it run by.
Yeah.
I'll be like, what was
They
that?
like you. They like the house.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Anyway,
having fun.
Everybody can live in space. Everybody can live together happily.
right.
Okay.
I don't know, Marie. I have limits. No one else does. I have limits. But anyway, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on. This has
Thank
been
you
fun.
so much. It's
And-
been a pleasure. Good
and
to see you, Terry and
Yeah.
Kevin.
Thank you.
And,
I have to say, I love your quote.
Aw.
Certain things catch our eye, but pursue only those things that capture your heart.
Yeah.
I love that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you. So good seeing you.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll talk again. Have a good
All right.
night.
Thank you.
For
Bye,
all,
lady.
yes, bye-bye. And for all of you watching, reach out to her if you're in the Florida area, because she does a great job and has a lot of fun. And join her team. Get down there and check it out. The Green Swamp and all those other places, the Everglades. My goodness, it's a great,
Just get
great
outdoors.
hunting area. Yeah, get outdoors and go have some fun.
That's right.
And we'll see you next week on Paris Paranormal.
Stay squatchy.